Hey guys, what's going on? This is going to be my first official YouTube video. Got a camera, got the setup ready to go. We're going to see how this works out. It's probably not going to be too great right now, but I do plan on getting better with it, obviously with more practice. Today we're going to be making a grilled pork chop with a sweet pepper relish and a balsamic glaze. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to preheat your oven to, and it's going to be a higher temperature. We're going to have that at 425. You want to get your peppers. I'm using yellow, orange, and red sweet bell peppers. And that's going to give the dish nice color when it's all done put together. And so you're just going to take some oil in a bowl, peppers. Make sure you get them all nice and coated with the oil so that the salt and pepper will stick to them really well. You get salt. Always want to season your food very generously. Alright, take those quick little toss around in the salt and pepper. Alright, so now that our oven's nice and preheated, we're going to pop these bad boys in the oven for about 25 minutes or so. We're going to let them char up. We're going to turn them 10 minutes in, just once. Once they get nice and charred, we're going to transfer them and set those off to the side, get the rest of this. So while the peppers are roasting in the oven, we got to get some garlic to roast to go along with it. So you can put these in the oven as well, but I'm going to cheat a little bit. We're going to put some oil in a pan, just enough to coat the whole bottom of the pan. Take a couple cloves of garlic, boom, right there into the oil. And once this starts bubbling, we'll toss it around a couple of times, and then those will be good to go, and we'll set those aside for later. Alright, so now we got our peppers going in the oven, we got our garlic roasting on the pan, and now we're going to try and gather all the rest of our ingredients for the pork that we're going to be making, and the sauce that's going to be going in with those peppers. So you're going to want salt, pepper like usual. Thyme, you can use dried or fresh. I prefer fresh, but you know, a lot of people just kind of use dried thyme because it's a lot easier to find. Parsley, again, can use fresh or dried, doesn't really matter that much. Clover, honey. Don't need that. I don't know what that's doing. Balsamic. I would prefer using a higher quality of balsamic. Again, the better quality product you're going to use, the better it's going to taste. And then you're also going to want some cherry peppers, and that's going to add a little bit of heat to that peppers that we're doing. So now that I'm done yapping, our garlic is nice and golden brown. We're going to cut that off. Alright, so our garlic is done. So we're just going to mash that up with a fork in a bowl. Roasting the garlic adds a totally different flavor profile to it than just having the fresh garlic in there. So then to this, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of our balsamic. Mix that around with the garlic. About a tablespoon of honey. And that's going to help match it to the balsamic glaze that we make later on. And we're going to go with our parsley. Don't need a whole lot if you're using dried. When you're using fresh, the flavor's not as prevalent as when it's dried. So usually I do about a 1/2 cup for this recipe. For right now, since I'm using dried, I would only do maybe 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. And the same goes with the thyme. So we're going to add just a tablespoon of thyme in there. Alright, we got pepper, salt and pepper on everything. We're going to mix that all together. Then we're going to go ahead and add a couple of cherry peppers to kick that spice up a little bit. You're going to want to make sure you get seeded cherry peppers. You don't want those seeds in there because that's going to be way too much spice for what you want. So we're just going to go with a couple of cherry peppers, and we're actually going to add a little bit of that juice. It's like free flavoring right there. Always about getting more bang for your buck. I'm going to mix that up. And if you want, you don't have to, you can blend this all up in a blender. So now we're going to start working on our glaze. You're going to want to set aside a half a cup of balsamic for later. That's going to go with the pork. But for our balsamic glaze, it's super simple. It is going to be 2 cups of balsamic vinegar, a bit of honey. This is going to just help it thicken up after it reduces. This is going to be on the stove for a little while. So about a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. And this is going to sit on the stove for probably about a half an hour, and it's going to reduce by about half. Alright, so now that we've got everything going, we got our peppers in the oven still. Those are going to be just a couple of more minutes. We got our balsamic reducing to make the glaze for the topping for everything else, and now we're going to make our marinade for the pork that we're going to be using. So we're going to come up the honey again. Notice we're using all the same ingredients. That's just so each different element of this all can blend. 1/4 cup of oil, and you're going to come back behind that with the vinegar that we set aside earlier. Alright, and again, thyme, salt and pepper, always. And again, our parsley flakes. Alright, so we're going to set that aside and let that rest for a little while we get the rest of this going, and soon we'll have our pork in that to marinate for when we grill off our pork. Alright, so while all this stuff is going, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you guys for all the positive feedback you've been giving me. I know this is like my first official YouTube video and stuff like that, but everything you guys have been saying on my Instagram and on my Snapchat and stuff, I just want to thank you so much for all of that. I look forward to making more videos. It's actually a lot of fun for me. I love cooking. Yeah, just stay tuned for more videos. Let me know what you guys think. Suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions for more meals. I got this one from my sister. Yeah, so stay tuned for more videos. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, now that our pepper's nice and roasted, so you start getting the charness on the outside, we're going to take that bowl that we had from earlier. We're going to transfer those right into the bowl. We're going to cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest for just a little while. Let the peppers steam, let them get nice. Fun part with the peppers, now that they've sat, they've roasted, they've cooled off now we've got to peel the skin off of them and remove the seed. The skin should peel off relatively easily. You want to just be careful that you're not losing any of the pepper itself. And now that we've got our peppers all peeled and seeded, we're just going to give these a nice julienne thin slice. And then we're going right back into that same bowl that we had them steaming in, that we tossed them in oil in. We're going to go right in that bowl with this. And then that mixture that we made earlier with the cherry peppers and the balsamic vinegar, put it in the blender. We're going to go right in with that. We're going to give this a good mix around. Those are going to marinate and all that. And we're going to let it sit in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Alright, now that we've got everything else set aside, ready to go, we're going to drizzle some oil on our pork. Also, have a cast iron pan heating up on the stove. And that's going to be what we're using to cook our pork. You can grill this, you can pan fry it. I'm using a cast iron. Salt and pepper. Then you want to do this for both sides. So flip them over, same thing, salt and pepper. Now that our pan is super hot, we're going to come in with the pork. Oh yeah. Lay it right down real nice and gentle. Both pieces. Oh yeah, that was beautiful. So now that we got them flipped over, we're going to take that sauce that we made earlier and make sure that's nice and mixed up. And we're going to go right on top with it. make sure that you're covering every last bit of the pork tendon. This is where it's going to bring out all the flavor, it's going to combine, it's going to all come together really nicely. When you do this, you want to make sure you get every last bit of that into the pork. This is where the flavors are going to all combine. It's going to really pull this dish together. Take a look. Oh yeah. Again, once we flip it, we're going to throw some more of this on here. We're actually going to use up whatever you got left on this side now. And this is going to help cook everything. It's going to help blend the flavors and make it delicious. And we're just going to take whatever juices are collecting here in the bottom. This is going to do just like our balsamic reduction did. It's going to start to sweeten up. Alright, now that we've given these time to cook, I'm going to just set them aside. Let them rest. For just 5 minutes, just to let it sit. When you're cooking pork, you want it to be cooked to an internal temperature of about 145 degrees. Then finally, in order to plate this, we're going to take one of our pieces of pork, right in the center of the plate. We're going to take our peppers that we prepared earlier. Just a nice little pile right there on top. And we're going to hit it with our glaze, which now that it's been sitting, it's thickened up. It's much more like a syrup now. We're just going to drizzle that all over the top. Line of that glaze on top, and that's all. She's finished. That's it. I know it took a little bit longer than most of my recipes do, but I saw this recipe online. My sister shared it with me, and I want to make this for you guys, show you how it's done and stuff like this. And yeah, that's all you need to know. Yeah, it looks great. I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to hear the feedback from you guys. What you think of the video? What do you think of the recipe? As always, I'm going to post that at the end of the video with this. And I'll see you guys next week.